Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news, man. If you thought the Seahawks offseason was already heating up, hold on to your hats because the latest rumors are buzzing about a blockbuster move that could shake up the entire NFC West and give Seattle a serious boost heading into the next season. We're talking about a potential trade involving Joel Bitonio, one of the most reliable and durable guards in the league. And it's not just a pipe dream. Sources from around the league are whispering that the Cleveland Browns, who have struggled this year with a 5-10 record and are still rebuilding after a rocky start with Deshaun Watson, might be open to shipping out Bitonio in exchange for a first-round pick plus a third-round pick. This kind of deal would be a game-changer for Seattle, especially considering how much the offensive line has been a roller coaster ride over the past few seasons. The Seahawks have been trying to stabilize their O-line, especially after the midseason boost from Shahid, but there's still a lot of room for improvement. Adding a veteran like Joel Bitonio, who's been a cornerstone for the Browns, could be exactly what Seattle needs to solidify that front line and push their offense to the next level. Now let's talk about why this trade makes so much sense for the Seahawks. First, it's about stability. Joel Bitonio isn't just any guard. He's a durable, dependable player who started 171 games in his career. That kind of reliability is gold in the NFL, especially on the interior line, where injuries and inconsistency can happen all too often. In 2025, he's been virtually injury-free, playing 10 games, with a PFF pass block grade of 75.1, ranking him 9th among guards, and a run block grade of 64.8, which is solid. He's been an anchor with 892 snaps, only 2 penalties, and just 1 sack allowed all season. His plus 0.18 EPA per block shows he's making a real impact in the run and pass game. And considering the Browns' situation, struggling at 5-10 and facing uncertainty, they might see trading Bitonio as a way to free up cap space, around $25 million, which they could then use to shore up their shaky defensive front or rebuild other areas. The Browns' offensive line has been a bit of a mess this year, with their run game and pass protection both underperforming. Without Bitonio, their OL drops about 17%, and the entire AFC North is chaos right now, with the Steelers trying to hold it together and the Ravens and Bengals battling it out. Cleveland might be looking at a rebuild, and trading away a veteran like Bitonio could be part of that plan. For Seattle, the incentive is clear. By acquiring Bitonio, they're not just adding a top-tier guard, they're elevating their entire offensive line, which has been a bit inconsistent but has shown flashes of brilliance. Remember last season, the Seahawks' run game was ranked 22nd in yards per game, averaging about 112 yards, which isn't terrible but leaves room for improvement. The addition of a player like Bitonio could push that number into the top 10, helping Kenneth Walker and the running game thrive even more. Plus, with Geno Smith leading a balanced attack, protecting him becomes even more critical, especially in high-pressure moments. Let's not forget the impact this would have on Geno's QBR, which has been impressive, around 89. With Bitonio anchoring the middle, that number could easily climb past 95, making the Seahawks' offense even more lethal. It's a classic case of upgrading the trenches. When your line is solid, everything else tends to fall into place. And the Seahawks' current interior line, while decent, isn't quite at the elite level needed to consistently compete with the best defenses in the league. Adding a veteran like Bitonio would also bring leadership and experience to the locker room, crucial for a team aiming for deep playoff runs. His consistency and ability to excel in both pass protection and run blocking mean he could be a real X-factor in the postseason. And considering the Seahawks' recent history of making bold moves, this kind of trade fits perfectly into their pattern of aggressive offseason strategy, always aiming to improve and push for that Super Bowl. From a strategic standpoint, the Seahawks would be wise to move quickly, as the trade deadline is approaching on November 4th. The front office is known for making decisive moves, and this could be the kind of blockbuster that defines their season. The NFL trade landscape is shifting, and teams are realizing that investing in the trenches can be the difference between a good team and a championship contender. Looking at the bigger picture, the Seahawks are sitting at 8-7, entering this crucial phase of the season. Every game is a must-win at this point, and strengthening the offensive line with someone like Bitonio could be the final piece of the puzzle. It's not just about this season. It's about setting up for sustained success, building an interior line that can withstand the rigors of a long playoff run and beyond. And let's be honest, the NFC West is no longer the same as it was a few years ago. The 49ers continue to be a powerhouse, but the Rams are in flux, and the Cardinals are still rebuilding. That means the Seahawks have a real shot at taking control of the division if they make smart moves and execute well down the stretch. Adding a veteran guard like Bitonio could be what pushes them over the top and gets them that much closer to returning to the Super Bowl stage. On the other side, Cleveland's perspective is interesting. They're in a kind of limbo, trying to figure out whether they want to rebuild around Deshaun Watson or go in another direction. Trading away Bitonio might be part of that rebuild, especially if they can get a solid haul of draft picks in return. It's a classic case of a team weighing the short-term pain against long-term gains, and the Browns, management might see this as a prime opportunity to reset their roster. Now, let's talk about the potential impact on the Seahawks' playoff chances. Historically, teams that solidify their offensive line tend to perform better in the postseason. Protecting Geno Smith, creating running lanes for Kenneth Walker, and improving pass-blocking efficiency can translate directly into wins. Plus, with the added cap space freed up from any potential move, the Seahawks could also look to bolster other areas, maybe even add a piece or two on defense if the right opportunity comes along. The Seahawks have been a team that plays with grit and resilience, and they've shown they can compete with the best when everything clicks. A move for Bitonio would send a message to the rest of the league that they're all in, that they're serious about contending and not settling for mediocrity. The fans are already buzzing about the possibility, dreaming of a roster that's even more talented and tough than before. The energy around Lumen Field would be electric, knowing that their team is making bold moves. Of course, nothing is guaranteed in the NFL, and trades always come with risks. But the potential reward, adding a proven, dependable veteran guard who can elevate the entire offensive line, is worth the gamble. The Seahawks have the draft capital and the cap space to make it happen, and with the trade deadline looming, time is of the essence. The front office's decision in the coming days could very well define the next chapter of Seahawks football, one filled with hope, grit, and a relentless pursuit of greatness. So fans, keep your eyes peeled and your fingers crossed. Big things are happening, and if this trade goes through, it could be the move that propels the Seahawks back into serious Super Bowl contention. As always, the NFC West is never short on drama, but this potential acquisition could tip the scales in Seattle's favor. Whether you're dreaming of another Lombardi trophy or just excited to see your team compete at the highest level, this is the kind of news that keeps the passion alive. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seahawks news. Let's keep that passion burning and hope for the best as we watch this story unfold. Go Seahawks!